Really interesting story out today about depression treatment. Special K, also known as ketamine, is an anesthetic used in short diagnostic surgical procedures, and it's also a party drug. A lot of people take it in the party scene. But now psychiatrists are saying it's being successfully used to combat depression. Alternate reports, quote, "There is still a decided lack of data necessary for any rational evidence-based decision. At this stage, the jury isn't even out. Yet, leading medical centers, including the National Institute of Health, Yale, and Oxford, are proposing that low-dose ketamine for major depression has tremendous potential. It has become, according to Scientific American, a rising star in the world of depression research." So they go on to give specifics on this. Quote, "Patrick Cameron from Toronto would agree. In 2013 and 2014, he traveled to New York City on various occasions to visit private clinics for doses of ketamine, all in all, an effort to relieve his suffering from intractable depression. He said, quote, 'This is the only thing that's worked. I might have finally found the answer.' They continue, "In the UK, the lead researcher of an Oxford-based study of 28 people was effusive. Quote, 'It really is dramatic for some people,' said Dr. Rupert McShane. 'It's the sort of thing that really makes it worth doing psychiatry.'" So, it's not concrete yet. It's not 100% yet, but there are some preliminary results that are very promising that, in fact, Special K, ketamine, in low doses might have very positive effects on the brain and very positive effects to end depression. And look, this goes back to something we've spoken about quite a bit on the show. This is something I get a lot of shit for this. Of all the things I say, this is one of those areas where I get some of the most shit from a lot of people who otherwise agree with me and otherwise would agree with my politics and would agree with my beliefs on science and in other areas. People say, well, no, you're going too far when you say that different illegal drugs have potential for therapeutic treatments and for treatments to relieve mental anguish and sometimes PTSD, sometimes depression, sometimes even more serious problems than that when you get into bipolar disorder, et cetera, et cetera. But the reason I say this is because a lot of evidence is pointing to it. I didn't just wake up and make it up. I mean, we've covered stories where they look into PTSD research, where they've used MDMA in some cases, psilocybin, which is magic mushroom, in other cases, LSD. So they've used a variety of different psychedelic drugs, a variety of different tranquilizer drugs, sedative drugs, upper drugs. And across the board, what we've found in various articles is that, in fact, it's true. And look, I've been screaming about this because why do you think people take illegal drugs to begin with? They wouldn't do it if there were no upsides to it whatsoever. Now, yes, it's true that some people have an addiction problem, and when they have an addiction problem, they end up besmirching everybody else who uses it recreationally and has positive benefits out of it. But a lot of people take it because these substances work. There's plenty of people, including a lot of famous people, including a lot of geniuses, who have said that their personal experiences with illegal drugs have changed their lives for the better and have opened their eyes. You know, people like Steve Jobs, certain neuroscientists, these are people who said, LSD changed my life. You have Freud. The old joke about Freud goes that he did enough cocaine to kill a small horse. So you have all these various substances and all these different geniuses who've used them and have had positive experiences. And now we have studies coming out that say, hey, certain substances may treat PTSD, may treat depression, may treat bipolar disorder. And there's a lot of promising results to begin with. And the only reason why we're not further going down this road is that people have walled off this part of the discussion and said, you're not allowed to have this part of the discussion because we've already concluded that these drugs have no medicinal benefit whatsoever. Therefore, don't look into it anymore. Therefore, don't talk about it. Therefore, forget it. Pretend like those drugs don't even exist. And by the way, if we catch you with them, we're going to put you behind bars for 30 years. This is the kind of bullshit that we're dealing with today. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's a reason why so many people end up taking recreational drugs in their lives, and a reason why so many people feel as if it was actually a benefit to them, not a detriment. Because it's true. Because it's true. Whether we're talking, I mean, look, the idea that some illegal drugs can treat depression, that seems to me to be the most obvious thing ever. Just the problem is a lot of people, when they become addicts and when they go too far, a lot of that has to do with who they are personally and what's in their genetic map, if you will, or what they're biologically predisposed to and where they lean naturally, right? That has something to do with it. But also the fact that it's not done in a clinical setting. It's not done in a way where you have a medical professional telling you, whoa, you just tripled the dose that you should take. You fucked up. This could be a bad trip, or you've gone too far and you might experience heart palpitations or whatever. But if you have these substances in a clinical setting, you know the amount to take to get the desired result, to get the desired effect. In that case, then yes, a lot of these different illegal drugs can have many positive effects. There's a reason why throughout history people have always recreationally had booze and smoked marijuana and did cocaine, because it's not all evil, bad, negative, gonna ruin your life on it. That's the propaganda that unfortunately a lot of people believe, to the point where our government won't even allow us to study these things in a serious way when the evidence shows that we should study it and that it's very promising.